Welcome, everyone, to the Circle of Debate podcast. It's the host, the Devious One, Ivan C., here with my brother from another mother, the one and only, the director, CK1, Chris Kennedy. And today, ladies and gentlemen, he is back on the show. The last time we spoke to Mr. He is not, excuse me, go ahead. Let me properly introduce him, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh.
All right, so he is Memphis Golden Boy, bringing Memphis wrestling back to the city of Memphis, and that is, he's 5-star. He's your golden star, Mr. Dustin.
Thanks for having me back. It wasn't that long ago that I was on here, and so much has changed in such a short period of time. So thanks for having me back.
I appreciate you for coming back. The last time we spoke was on January 11th was the last time we had you back.
Okay.
At that time, you mentioned that you were going to bring wrestling back to Memphis, and that became in fruition. First show came out was on February 27th, and I was excited and I was intrigued seeing Marquez. Obviously, he assisted out with the production, get everything going. How was it? How was the feeling for you coming back with a live crowd, even though it wasn't a big crowd, but a small crowd for the first time? How was that reaction? How was your feelings about that when first?
It was awesome. So we sold the tickets that we were allowed to sell 75 tickets just with the limited capacity at the top of the line banquet hall in Memphis. And we sold those tickets within a day.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so we put March the 7th, I think was the next one. And those went in a day or so. And so then we put the April 11th tickets on sale after that. So we've been doing about 4 TV tapings each time. And we've sold all the tickets that they allowed us to sell. And we would even ask, can we get a couple more? Hey, got any of those tickets left on you? but they wouldn't let us, and for obvious reasons and everything. And so we're following the proper protocol and all that kind of stuff. But it just feels like it's great that it's back, and we've got television rolling here in Memphis, but it was a little out of place. So the banquet hall is a very nice event center to where you get married there, you have your prom there, real nice type of intimate setting. But then you have professional wrestling there. Right. And it was kind of like, all right, honestly, if I had to compare it, and not that we're on like the Memphis Tigers level or anything like that, but if you had the Memphis Tigers playing college basketball, D1, inside of a YMCA, it looks a little out of place, It's like, hey, that's a great team, but what are they doing there? And so shout out to Top of the Line Banquet Hall for allowing us to launch there at their facility. And so now we've made the announcement that we have a brand new Memphis Wrestle Center that is in production right now. It's absolutely incredible. I'm extremely happy with the results so far. I've been there all day, every day for the last couple of weeks, especially, once inspections and stuff were over with. So that's all behind us. And now it's just designing the set and the desk. Just like Lance and Dave back in the day, we'll have a desk, and that's where all the drama is going to go down. But it's a 6,000 square foot facility. It's got a lobby. It's got a meet and greet area. And then when you walk through the double doors, wow, that's where we're going to do television and training. So that's what's happened since the last time we talked.
That's exciting.
Is it dedicated just to you and your brand, or is it a shared venue like others are? It's all you?
All us, 100% of the time.
I'm very emotional right now.
Yeah, the Memphis Wrestle Center is the name. So we'll be doing training in there. We've had a lot of people ask us about custom birthday parties. So you can actually have Memphis Wrestling come in and do your own matches. Who do you want? Do you want to see Brett Michaels versus Alan Steele for your birthday party? Or do you want to see
I want Precious. I just Precious for my 38th birthday party, and I'm happy.
Precious, yeah. You want Precious at your birthday party? So anyways, there's just all sorts of different things we can do out of there. And one of the most stressful things about doing an event, especially television, is setting up the rings, setting up the lights, and then having to tear all that stuff down when you're done. And then you can't really do training as well as you'd like because you have to move. You're there for a day, maybe a couple of hours, and then you move the ring out. So now this will be dedicated 100% to Memphis Wrestling.
Absolutely. That is awesome. We cannot wait. I'm just excited for that. When I heard the announcement, my jaw just dropped, and I'm like, yes.
Well, I want to be able to share some behind the scenes type of stuff, and I'm taking plenty of footage and everything. But really, I don't want to release it until you see it on television, or unless you buy a ticket to be there. I want it to be something special because I really feel like we have a very strong community of Memphis wrestling fans, and that community is going to grow. And what I mean by community is we see the same faces, whether we go to Dave and Buster's for a watch party, or we go play trivia somewhere, or if we're doing television tapings, you know, we see the same faces, and it keeps growing. And so people are liking what we're doing. And so hopefully this will just send it over the edge where it's really, man, I would have to say it's classic studio, but just fresh to death.
Mm.
So new and so fresh and so vibrant. That's what I want, is a vibrant wrestling show. You know, a lot of times it's dark. They're trying to hide something with the black paint.
Right.
Oh, you're not going to see any black paint in our facility.
Ooh.
It's going to be blue. It's going to be the colors of our logo.
Okay. Awesome. That is awesome.
I want to flashback real quick to your previous venue, and I want to talk about the overhead. And no, I don't want to get into the logistics of rent. That's not what we do.
I know what you're talking about.
I want to talk about a spot that literally brought the roof down, my friend. And I'm going to share screen this with the fans. So tell me what you got. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes.
So you see your Instagram? Is that because I see myself? So you see my gram?
I see it. Yep.
All right, Ivan, check this shit out.
Look at this, a little whisper in the wind.
Whisper in the wind. Boom.
Did you see that, Ivan?
I saw that.
Dude.
Actually, first of all,
I just saw that.
I think it's poetry in motion instead of whisper in the wind. But whatever.
It's fine. It's fine.
Man, when they hit the ceiling, I go, "Oh man, you guys had one job,
Not
ceiling."
Headbutt the tile, which then fell on, I think, whoever was on all fours setting the spot up. And that's what you're talking about as far as a shared venue of a banquet hall that is much smaller than what you have now. Is
Yes.
you have to account for things like that. I love that spot, by the way. No offense, like I love this spot, but I sent that to WrestleBotch. And
Man,
I'm hoping they post it.
Any publicity is good for us. But man, me and Maria looked at each other and we were like, "Oh no!" And I looked for the owner, and you can hear us banter back and forth. I wonder what that's going to cost. I'm sure the invoice is in the mail. Or
Yeah,
Memphis wrestling fans love it.
The tile didn't just fall. I think the tile shattered.
Oh man, it just exploded when it hit, and of course we had to replace it. And it was no big deal. They actually thought it was funny, but it was like, guys, come on. Or like a superplex off the top. They're teasing it. And I'm like, please don't. Please don't.
You gotta measure a little bit. But so clearly there's going to be a literal overhead in the new venue.
Oh, man. So the new building has 30-foot ceilings. If somebody takes a bump and hits the ceiling on this, they need an ambulance or a funeral. It's high. It's high. So it's about 35 feet wide, about 30 feet tall. We'll be able to have some really good lights that shine right down on the ring. And like I said, it'll be there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We won't have to worry about mess with it. Now, also, a lot of people were asking me about the cosmetics. I mean, we've got a brand new ring canvas. We got brand new ring skirts. We got brand new ring ropes on the way. I mean, everything is literally brand new, from the desk to the stage to the paint on the walls. Literally.
Let's hear about the sound system. You got to have an awesome sound system pumping in there now too.
Well, so shout out to Heal the Hood Foundation. So we donate and we help along with the Heal the Hood Foundation. I'm on the board there, and what they do is help underprivileged children. They write comic books and do all sorts of fundraising and things, and we help them with that. And so Liddell, shout out to Liddell, he's my guy, man. So I was asking, he said, "Mr. Dustin?" He calls me Mr. Dustin, makes me feel old. He said, "You know, I'm a DJ." I said, "Oh, I know." I said, "You want to come have some fun?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." So I was telling him, "Hey, we're going to get this sound system and all that stuff, unless," and he goes, "Don't you be giving my job away." So, the Heal the Hood Foundation wants to be set up in there, and they'll probably have their own corner or whatever. And so the sound system will be really good. Now the space is big, but I don't know, like, we're not doing a rock concert in there. We're literally shooting a television show.
Right.
So it doesn't have to like blow us away, but definitely having Liddell and the Heal the Hood Foundation there, they're going to be running the music for us. We'll probably have a surround sound speaker set up, Bluetooth style, because things have changed so much, man.
Yeah.
You know, we're not necessarily laser lights and pyro. You know, the Hollywood show has a little bit of that, but Memphis has always been curtains.
Yes.
And a desk.
Yes.
And so we're not going to have the curtains. We're going to have a whole different vibrant feel, but we'll have the desk and it'll fall right in line, but it'll be, you'll like it. You'll like it. It's old school meets new school.
That's what I love about it.
I mean, I like what you've been able to do with what you've had already from the YouTube channel. I know it's not your venue, so you are limited with, I guess you would say, the customization of your vision.
Yeah.
But already it looks professional as possible. So I can't wait to see what you have at, I'd say 100% Dustin capacity. The Star Trek, literally
night and day. It would literally. All right, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be a little bit snobby on it. Where when we do,
you've heard it, brother.
Hey, when we do the re-premiere, it'll air on May the 22nd because we shoot it on May 2nd. Jerry Jarrett will be there. The play-by-play man for the Memphis Grizzlies, Pete Pranica, is going to join us for an episode, and I get to call the action with one of. I'm his biggest fan. You know, working with the Grizzlies, I love watching Pete. But then also once we do a re-premiere, you'll see a new open. You'll hear new theme music. It'll just be a totally different look. And honestly, I don't ever want to show the old stuff ever again. You know, it's
vaulted up.
Something fresh and new, and here's what we're doing now, you know, and leave that look in the past. And I'm very appreciative of Top of the Line, and you know, I like the way that the show looked, but it was absolutely misplaced. I'll be the first one to say it. So this will be night and day compared to what we're doing on the show here for the next couple of weeks.
Definitely, we're looking forward to seeing that, especially. Wanted to ask you, so talk to us about the roster. You have such an incredible roster, by the way. My favorite is Brett Michaels is one of my favorites, and Amber Rodriguez is another one too. Yeah. Yes. Do love DJ Brown, Action Jackson. By the way, that match was incredible between them two. I loved it. That was like a top 5-star match right there from equality, great quality.
No pun intended, right?
No pun intended.
Yeah. What I love about the roster is if you look at it, and like you said about what your arena already is going to be, is the old school meets new school, and you are traditionally an old school fan growing up watching wrestling in your area, and obviously now being in 2021, which is new school. Your roster, the personalities are such a great mix of that, because I'm seeing 80s heel styles with like Norman Meklikov, Bam Bam Malone, but then you got the new style. You got, I mean, Brett Michaels, obviously that guy is built for a gun show. I'm sure when you guys walk around each other, you're both just like,
oh, he's like, hey, 5-star, I think I'm 10-star. And I say, hey, brother, I'll call you 10-star all day long, man.
So having such a diverse roster of personalities, the styles make matchups. And so you have almost an endless combination of great matches that you have even yet to scratch the surface of putting on.
Yeah.
Are there matchups that you have yet to book that you just, as a fan, fantasize about? You're like, I can't wait to see this guy and that guy, or this woman versus that woman.
Hey, and you know, also I'm chomping at the bit to get active myself. So I'm looking at different talent going, oh my gosh, I could do something with
scouting, not only booking, but
we could do something with her. You know, like it's as long as the stories make sense, I'll do whatever's best for business. So I can totally see us doing a Saturday night special that's like a non-televised type of event to where we culminate some of these storylines. And then that way we can do stuff on our Sunday television tapings, but then come back as a house show because it's the Wrestle Center. We can do anything in there.
I got an idea. I'm not a booker, but if they can beat you on non-television, they can get a TV spot.
Hey, there you go. Hey, but we're in Memphis, so you know, I don't lose in Memphis.
There you go.
Nobody's getting a TV contract. Sorry about it.
Right. But you're right though. We have such not only a really good locker room and a good roster, but man, there's so many people. If you look, sometimes we've got 30 to 50 people in the locker room. That's way too many. So what you'll see from us moving forward is you'll see, I'm not saying that anybody's going away. You're going to see those talent rotate in and out based off of stories. Right. And that way we can do a little bit simpler storytelling. So instead of 6 matches in an episode and getting, 10 angles over, you might have 3 matches that go longer, but then a lot more of that storytelling, because the history of Memphis wrestling, classic Memphis wrestling is, which I love, by the way, is all the drama goes down at the desk. All goes down at the desk. So right off the jump, that drama needs to start at the desk. And whatever happens at the desk where there's a banter back and forth, it ends up in the ring. And who knows, it might spill back out to the floor, back to the desk. But I just see a lot of the drama taking place at the desk, whereas WWE might be in the ring, in the middle of the ring doing a promo.
Right.
It's not really Memphis. You've never
No.
seen that in Memphis. And people say, well, why don't you give him a mic and put him in the ring? Well, that's not what we do, you know, but we could definitely do it at the desk. And then I might have to duck some punches or something at the desk or whatever. But but yeah, the roster is very good. The tag team division is absolutely amazing with the Young Goats, the Crowleys, the Russell twins, the Posse, and the
Posse.
God, the Posse.
I love that. That's like
Posse are
LOD
so
was an 80s video game.
Yes, man, those guys have been extremely helpful. They're some of my best friends in the entire world. They were actually building our desk earlier. So these dudes that wear face paint and spikes, man, these guys are like carpenters or something. I'm like, dude, he sent me a list, Simon. Simon sent me a list of supplies that he needed. And I'm looking, I'm like, dude, this is $1,500 worth of stuff. He's like, Delish. He calls me Delish. Trust me, Delish. Trust me, girl. I go, all right. So he shows up and there's the supplies laying out on the ground for him. He goes, all right, this dude, they whipped this thing together. And I'm like, whoa, how did I not know this? These guys are so talented. But you'll see a little bit simpler storytelling to where we can really get those stories over and then weave people in and out and just, you know, use everybody efficiently and effectively, but not throw everybody all at you at once in one episode.
Right, the quality over quantity, because also it helps people care. Because if you, like you said, if you're throwing 10 storylines at once, I may not remember half of them, or even less than that, or care about. Like, okay, I want to move on to the one I want, and then now if I have my attention all on, let's say Bret Michaels, I'm not going to care about the 2 or 3 stories that were told, or 6 or 7 stories that were told before that. So it gives me something to invest in, as well as the fans. But then also more ring time for that story, because not to be a smart or anything, but I've learned to appreciate in-ring psychology that matters. And then when you mix that in with the out of the ring storytelling and nail them both, that is what I can appreciate the most.
Absolutely.
Not having to just muddy everything up with just, getting everybody on camera all at once really affects both of those.
One of the things is that if we're going to film 3 tapings at a time instead of 4. So it'll keep it a little bit tighter. But I remember doing Corey Macklin's Memphis Wrestling and doing 1 live show and then doing 1 tape show. And I remember every time, I never thought, oh boy, I hope I don't have to wrestle twice. I actually thought, oh boy, I hope I have 2 matches, because then I'm on TV both weeks. So I've kind of been focusing, as when we write the show, maybe not have everybody do a match every time, but really that's what they're there for. They're like, dude, put me in a match. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we'll all get to work a little bit harder, which is fine, but then we'll tell those stories and they'll get more television time. And there's a lot of people watching, man. I was looking on our YouTube channel as far as our impressions, and we're just, it's me and Maria and of course the United Wrestling Network, but they're in California. So there is a little bit of a, I don't want to say disconnect, because we're not disconnected, but they're not here. Yeah. So a lot of that actual stuff has to fall on us. But our impressions on the last 28 days was 2.7 million impressions.
Yeah.
And that tells me that people not only in Memphis want Memphis wrestling, but people are watching from everywhere. You don't trade tapes anymore. You could just go on YouTube and watch. So that's really, really exciting about, when people are into what you're doing. So,
and I want to talk about real quick, I have your YouTube pulled up, just your numbers, just a humble brag. I mean, you talk about views and how easy it is to not have to go through like Budo's videos or online pirates to get a hold of hard to find tapes. But I mean, let's say compare yesterday. There's episode 8, 3,000 views already since yesterday. A week ago, 10,000 views, and then you cut to 10 months ago, 50,000 views is like your average. So these numbers are only going to jump. I think now that, with popularity, with more product, easier accessibility on YouTube. And then the venue itself is just going to, if you say it's a bright arena, that is going to pop on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
And people are drawn to white as far as the comic books or movies. And then obviously with wrestling, you said that
also
most pro wrestling, it's dark. It's always the lights, which is cool. But everything's just kind of edgy, and nothing pops anymore. It's always kind of like, how dark and dreary can we make this?
No, man, we want it to be like it's a television show. It needs to be bright and vibrant, and it needs to even be almost borderline corny of how everything is just so bright. Really, and also let me put this in perspective too. Those YouTube numbers we're talking about are literally nothing compared to a WWE or AEW or maybe even MLW. I mean, TNA, they all do so good on YouTube, but they also have a lot of money and a lot of power behind them. And us, we're a mom and pop shop. We're local Memphis wrestling. It's myself and my Maria. A lot of the stuff, the marketing, the graphics, and all that stuff that you see is us putting that together. Now, the United Wrestling Network helps with that too. But keep in mind, they've got so many other different things going on with the United Wrestling Network. It's almost up to the franchise, so to speak. Like for instance, Arizona or Hollywood or Memphis. It's kind of run almost individually of how you do your social and all that kind of stuff. And so we try to make that really, really strong. But so putting it in comparison to a major company, those numbers are nothing. But for us, being such a small company, gosh, we're like really proud of it and know that in the next couple of years, at least, it's really going to grow even more, because those numbers you said, a 50,000 view match, as far as minutes wise, there's a lot more minutes that were watched. But then also in a year, that might be 100,000 views. So it just continues to grow when people find out about you.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't know if, since I don't live locally in Memphis, and you talked about networking and just local views, and I apologize if this has been addressed somewhere else, but is there or have there been talks about getting on local TV in Memphis or anything regional?
Besides CW30.
Well, CW30 reaches from Memphis all the way to Jonesboro, Jackson, Tennessee, Tupelo, Mississippi. So it's a very big coverage area of the Mid-South. But then obviously there's opportunities, if we're in Jonesboro, we might be just in some of Jonesboro. We're not in the Jonesboro DMA. But with the DMA is a much larger piece of Jonesboro and all the surrounding Jonesboro. For instance, I'm just using that as an example. Right. So if we do get on in the Jonesboro DMA or the Jackson, Tennessee DMA, it just pops it, many more miles around that coverage area. So there's obviously opportunities to syndicate. But if we do really well, I mean, there's other opportunities with Fight TV for specials, or just anything is possible. But as of right now, we just need to be really good at shooting our television and making sure that people are watching on television and on YouTube, because honestly, as a business person, we can monetize YouTube. If we did make a jump to Fight, there would have to be some sort of monetary value, because if not, we're basically taking, revenue from our YouTube to put it over here for no reason, Exactly. So there's a web of ways to monetize, and that helps pay for all the stuff that we're doing in the brand new Wrestle Center, obviously.
Yeah.
Whew, your boy's a little nervous on that one.
And I remember also the last time when we spoke you mentioned about Derek King Cobra. So you haven't spoken to him. So now you got in talks with him, and now he's one of your head trainers for your facility, right? So he's one of the main.
Yeah. King Cobra has been fantastic, man. King Cobra has been very giving as far as helping get Brett Michaels over. On the show this weekend, it ended with him watching Brett's back, and people were saying, I thought he was going to watch his back. Where is he? And when he came out, the people went crazy, and you saw Brett fire up. And then at the end, when he picked up the victory, Cobra raised his hand. That's what we want. We don't necessarily, Cobra is not interested in getting in there and beating anybody up just yet. But but he's been extremely cool, and he's going to be our head coach. And some of this stuff, when he came in to look, like for instance, a little Easter egg here for you is he said, well, can we have two entrances? I would like for there to be a heel entrance and a babyface entrance. And I said, no problem. That sounds good to me, because it's classic old school.
Yes.
Now this is a podcast. We talk behind the scenes and all that stuff. I know that all the boys are just hanging out together in the back there, right? But for a television show, my friend who is not a wrestler, his name is Jason. You've seen him on the show as far as a security guard, and he also helps out a ton on the ring. Like, he feels like he's a ring guy now. But he said, I remember seeing just last week, Jericho came out of the other entrance. And I was like, I never even noticed that, but he did, and Tony Schiavone even mentioned it. So there is something to have in separate locker rooms. So we're going to do that. But that was one of the reasons, as Cobra mentioned it. And a couple guys said, yeah, that's easy.
That's a lot of storytelling that AEW, when they do it, it's very obvious, because their entrances are on left side of the stage. It's not a central entrance. But relative to storytelling, I will notice okay, the Young Bucks walked out of the face side. They turned on Moxley, walked back through the heel side. So those are little Easter eggs, like you mentioned, relative to storytelling that may be old school. I don't know where that idea came from, but it makes sense back when you used to maybe separate the locker rooms, and that tradition might have just carried over. Obviously, one locker room, two entrances. So implementing that into your facility is old school meets new school. It's storytelling, it's psychology. It also may let the fans know once they maybe they're not familiar with someone, notice all the good guys are coming out the right side, so they may instinctively know to cheer for, this guy and then boo that guy based on what side of the ring they come out of.
Yeah, I love it. That was just something Cobra mentioned it, and I said, all right, that sounds cool. And then a couple of the other guys said, yeah, let's do it. And I said, all right, well, hey, make me an entrance there. Make me an entrance there.
I know some guys in your division, tag team, they can build whatever they want. They can.
Yeah. Well, you got the posse hanging around. There's no telling. I was wiggling the desk and stuff, and he's like, what are you doing, man? I said, just making sure you weren't pranking me that the desk would fall apart when I sat down on it.
The pratfall desk.
Yeah. But yeah, we've moved a lot of the stuff in there. The paint's on the walls. We're hanging some lights tomorrow. I'm going to be painting some of the set tomorrow, and I'll try to compile some of that footage at a later time and just show kind of how it came about, what it looked like before, what it looked like after.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I mean, it would literally night and day. So I can't wait for you guys to see it. But I don't think we're trying not to release any kind of spoilers until that re-premiere, and it'll be the new home of Memphis Wrestling.
Oh, I'm telling you, I cannot wait.
Just a few quick questions about the building itself, because I'm super excited. I'm actually pretty emotional to see this develop. The location of it, obviously, don't get out the address. No spoilers. Is it in what's the word I'm looking for? Not municipality. What's an area that's like high congested foot traffic where people can see it, and you're gonna have a giant sign that says like home of the.
Well, okay, so it's basically like a business office setting that's right near the airport.
Okay.
And so the neighbors are super cool. The neighbors could not wait because the landlord had to go tell them, hey, wrestling is going to move in here. Is that cool? And they're like, wrestling? Are you kidding me? Hell yeah, that's cool.
We've been waiting 50 years.
They were peeking out the window to come meet me. And they're like, hey, what's the Grizzlies guys here or whatever, But they've been super cool. But it's basically like an office setting. And when you walk in, there's a lobby. And then you go through, and then there's this open area where Tops Barbecue will be. We might even have some Dave & Buster's arcade machines in there, meet and greet area and all that. You go through the double doors, and there's the arena. And that was an old warehouse space that we basically took a warehouse space and made it into our Wrestle Center studio. And funny story is the landlord came by today, and, he's hearing me. I'm being very vague, but the things that I'm explaining to him is kind of like, yeah, okay, buddy, we'll see. Well, he popped in on me today, and he was like, you're really doing it up, aren't you? And I said, yes, sir. That's why we're here. And he was like, all right. I'm like, hey, you want a ticket?
Full price at the door.
Yeah, so he was, and we've been getting a lot of, any of the guys that have come by, they've been giving that response to it. But it's basically an office building that goes from like professional setting to, whoa, what are they doing here?
Party. And are you going to have a big sign like home of CW Memphis Championship on the front, or is it going to be kind of low pro?
I'm allowed a couple of small signs in the windows. So this office space doesn't have any signage on it at all.
I know what in my head, I've seen like industrial centers that are office buildings, so I kind of get what that looks like.
Yeah, so I mean, it'll be easy to find. It comes right up on the GPS, and then there will be some signage, but there's no need in having
I'm on my way, man. I'll be there.
Not even allowed to have it. When the sign inspector came out, the inspector came out to inspect the sign, and I said, well, I don't have a sign, and they won't let me put one up. And he didn't even get out of the car, and he's like, okay, good. So you're doing wrestling here. I used to watch Jackie Fargo. It's like, yeah.
That's awesome. And also, are you going to be also a head coach as well during the training that Dirk? Oh, okay.
I will be very involved. So it looks like it's going to be King Cobra, myself, Alan Steele, possibly Derek King. And then, of course, Maria will be there as well. Maria kind of brings a whole different viewpoint. She didn't come from the old school and hasn't been in it 25 years like myself or like Alan or King Cobra. Gosh, she's been in it 50 years probably. Yeah. So she brings a little bit of a different mindset to it, especially for a manager. not only in front of the curtain, but behind the curtain is very important too, because there's a whole different perspective as far as, respect. And, the wrestling business hasn't been full of that. But everybody that we work with seems to be on board with that. So anybody that we train, we need to train them to be respectful of not only who's around them, but what's around them and all that kind of stuff.
Agreed.
Locker room etiquette and stuff like that. So, but the cool thing is, since we're taping television there, you can literally come learn how to be a ring announcer, a broadcaster, a sports entertainer, which can mean anything. You've got the truck in the back where we produce the television show and all the equipment that comes in. So literally everything that involves running a live event, whether it's wrestling, refereeing, ring announcing, managing, commentary, you name it, they'll be able to learn all that on television days. And there's not another place in the Mid-South that can do that. I'm very confident in saying that, especially with the quality of people that will be there. King Cobra, Alan Steele.
Just the years of experience put in there.
I don't think there will be anybody that can compete with us as far as that's concerned. And the only person that I think would send me his book, Dr. Tom Pritchard.
That's right.
Yeah, and so wrote me a little letter on the inside here, just wishing us luck and anything that he can do to help. So he's the best trainer in the business right here, and he's all the way in Knoxville. So good thing we're not competing, because, man, he's the best. But he could come in and do seminars for us. That could be an opportunity to do seminars to where, maybe Knoxville's too far to learn from the guy who trained The Rock. That's, to me, gosh, it doesn't get any better than that. So he'll come in and probably do some seminars, and we'll do some different things out of the Wrestle Center, especially if there's interest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. So we'll also wanted to congratulate him actually revealing the Memphis Heritage World Championship. I love that title, by the way. I wanted to say I'm excited as well, because I know that on that May 15th is when we're going to have.
You're grabbing it. You're grabbing it. He's grabbing it. Hell yeah.
So the cool thing about this championship
is
this was designed by a local artist named Martheus, and he does comic books. He's with the Heal the Hood Foundation. And we wanted to put everything about it just be as Memphis as possible. So that's Mid-South Coliseum, who we work with the Coliseum Coalition. We'll be doing some events with them. And there's the Pyramid, which is now a Bass Pro Shop. But that was the first place I ever did WWE bookings. I was with Stone Cold and Eddie Guerrero in a bar fight.
Oh,
what the hell was I doing there, right?
Yeah.
With the bridge. And then, of course, on the front, you've got the plates for the United Wrestling Network and CW30 and all that good stuff. But we debuted this on TV yesterday, or on Saturday of this week, with a little montage that I wrote just to kind of tell people that we're doing this. It's something new and fresh, but it's based off of the respect and the heritage. That's why it's called the Memphis Heritage title. And it just falls in line with what United Wrestling Network is doing too. But to introduce that championship belt, oh man, it was awesome. And then to introduce the Grind City Rumble, and the way that we'll crown the champion, and it's going to be a wild affair on the 15th.
I want to talk a little bit about that. One thing I love is that you don't have a weight class on that belt, which means that basically anyone in the company, I don't even know if you specified genders on that belt, that could almost go to anyone who earns it, regardless of
every man and woman for themselves. So you will see some women in there. Now there are some Southern fans here that aren't really into the men and the women stuff, so it's a good heat mechanism. So if you see Derek grab Nikki, they hate it. They hate it big time. So that I think that'll play right into what we're doing, and then also just making it equal opportunity. Now we do have a women's division championship. I actually have the title. I can't show it to you yet though.
No,
but
okay.
You'll like the
spoiled us enough with that one.
You'll like the style and design. It's different than WWE in the sense to where like their Intercontinental title looks like totally different than their world title. Like they don't even look like from the same company. So we wanted to kind of have continuity with the championship belts to where they looked very similar, but they had their own little hint of differentness about them. And then also how we crown those champions. So right now we're deciding, do we do the women's championship first and then the tag team championship, or go ahead and do the tag team championship because it's absolutely on fire. Like these guys are great. Yes. I've never in a million years did I think that we would hit hit a grand slam and have so many great tag teams. I mean, literally, the whole division is really good.
Yeah.
So who's going to be the first champions? That's
Right?
going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Here-
right now there's 7 teams right now, but that's only what's listed on the site. I know you've got probably a couple more just in your back pocket, just on call, waiting to.
You'll
get
also
there and mix
see
it up.
some stuff happen over the course of these weeks. Now, remember, Alan Steele and Johnny Dotson are a group, even though they're not a tag team. They can absolutely go for the titles. And then in the coming weeks, you'll see some different characters that premiere, and you'll see kind of where we're going with that, where they could possibly be a tag team. So,
Yeah.
lots.
And definitely. And then when you reference open invitation, meaning as it could be from any other territory, for instance, they're able to go
Yes.
compete. Okay.
Absolutely. And you never know, like at the Red Carpet Rumble. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, no.
You
No,
mentioned
I'll be at the desk more than anything, but you will see me. You will see me get some action, though. I got to, man. I'm chomping at the bit.
I know
you
you're dying
mentioned
to
how
get
you were
ready.
going to inaugurate that first Heritage Champion in that match. What was the name of that match? Can you go over, I guess, the rules that you've implemented for that to let us kind of get ready to know what we're watching when it happens?
Yeah. So the Grind City Rumble, it's going to be an open invitation over the top rope. We don't know how many it can be. It's open invitation. So it could be 10, 20, 30. It could be 50. It could be men. It could be women. Open invitation to anybody in the Mid-South that thinks that they have what it takes to be the champion. So there will be an announcement once the final entrant has entered the ring. And then when the final 2 are in the ring, just like the Red Carpet Rumble, it goes to a one-on-one match. So over the top, out the window. So they actually have a one-on-one match right then and right there. And then the winner of pinfall or submission.
Pinfall submission.
Be the champion.
Obviously DQ. I assume there will be.
Well, if the referee does a disqualification, that's really going to suck. So I would imagine that we wouldn't do that.
Okay, I was thinking about the logistics. That's true, but
Yeah.
that is, I've never heard
That's
of.
the point. That's a little minor detail there that was like, oh wait, no, we're not doing that.
I love that. I've never heard of the final 2 going. It transitions into a traditional matchup. That's pretty clever, even for someone as clever as you. I love that.
But that's hey man, the United Wrestling Network has kind of laid out the format where I think it's every August, September, they do the Red Carpet Rumble. They've been doing it for about 10 years. So if you go to our YouTube channel, you can look in the playlist and you can actually watch footage from all those Rumbles. And the last one they had was 2019, and they're bringing it back this year. And so our Memphis is going to be the Grind City Rumble. So we're kind of trying to do similar stuff to what the United Wrestling Network has already created because it's been successful, and then just make Memphis tweaks to it. So instead of the Red Carpet Rumble, it's the Grind City Rumble.
Right.
We had the Cobra Cup, which is very similar to the PP3, except for it didn't have the power yet. Maybe the next time we have the PP3, that cup winner could cash that cup in as long as it's not smashed again, and then they can get the title just like the PP3. So there's little things that we can do, and then those super cards and things like that, like Coastline Clash that's coming up with the United Wrestling Network. And then also keep in mind, man, they watch, they see Brett Michaels, they see the tag team division. So I would not be surprised to see Memphis guys end up in Hollywood, and then Hollywood guys end up on the Memphis show.
I'm looking forward to that because I know Papo been watching, and we've both been watching.
He's scouting every week.
He's scouting every week. I know. I see him all the time on the live chat. I'm like, he's scouting every week. So
yeah, I love Papo Esco, man. That is the epitome of supporting a group. Is it doesn't cost anything to do it, man. To log on to the live chat, you guys log on there and shout out and all that kind of stuff. But just being there, that's support. That doesn't cost anything. You don't have to buy a ticket. You don't have to pay a membership fee. You know, a retweet here and there and interaction, all that stuff is free to do. And so we appreciate that. That helps get the word out about what we're doing. And Papo Esco, every week, it seems like he's in the chat talking some sort of smack about the tag team division or my suit.
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, definitely. That would be exciting to see the Double Bodega heading to Memphis. And I mean, wow.
Well, I'll tell you. So I know that May the 2nd, those tickets, I think, are all gone right now. ChampionshipWrestlingMemphis.com. Jerry Jarrett, the original founder of Memphis Wrestling, will be there. He's got a VIP experience meet and greet. Those tickets are still available, but the actual wrestling show tickets, I believe, are all gone, which is a good thing. But he will be a part of that television taping as well. So you'll see him. Pete Pranica from the Memphis Grizzlies, he's coming to do commentary with us. He's the play-by-play, award-winning play-by-play man for the Memphis Grizzlies, and he is a diehard he's a diehard wrestling fan. He grew up in Milwaukee with the Crusher.
Oh, okay.
He's looking forward to doing some commentary with us. In June, you know, we had CeCe Chanel here in April, but in June, Ruby Reyes is coming in.
Oh, that's
In
exciting.
July, we've got the Killer Bay Heather Monroe coming.
Yes.
I'm excited about that one.
I'm excited.
See who you match any of them up with. Unless it's each other, the dream matches right there.
Why not, man? Hey, but we're trying to do our best to bring the best here, and then also keep some continuity between what Memphis has been watching on television for the last 2.5 years, and flipping the show to be Memphis has been just excellent. But if we can bring some of those folks in, like I would love to bring Gentleman Jervis in. He was.
Oh, yeah.
We were texting just the other day, and if we can work something out to get him here, I would love to have Anthony Idol here at some point. I mean, how Memphis is Anthony Idol?
Yeah.
So we'll see some of that coming up.
Oh my God! Imagine Anthony Idol versus Fred Michaels.
Fred Michaels, or Dustin.
Man, I'll tell you, a couple of the guys that I'm friends with over at WWE that kind of work in the office, they actually mentioned Bret Michaels by name. They like him. They like his size. They like his look. Hey, man, who's that kid? It's like, well, he's been wrestling 20 years. He's not really a kid. But that just goes to show you that for the last 15 years, there hasn't been a Memphis Wrestling. This guy could have been on television this whole time and built a career for himself. But now he's getting the opportunity for the first time ever to be on television, and he's been doing it 20 years. Yeah. It's crazy.
That's insane. Absolutely. I agree with that. It's insane that, I mean, I'm glad that he's getting this exposure, especially with Memphis Wrestling. I'm telling you, I'm just very excited the fact that this all became in fruition since the last time we spoke, and I'm really excited for the new facility. And best believe, I mean, everybody's watching around the world. I mean, I see on the live chat from Germany. Germany's watching over there. Like all over Europe is watching Championship Wrestling from Memphis, and I'm really happy for you. And I just can't wait. What more are going to bring surprises for us? And that's what I'm looking forward to. And especially with the tag team titles and for the women's division championship, I'm looking forward for that 100%.
Man, I feel like it's the missing puzzle piece is that facility, having it ours to where it's painted like what we want. It's set up like what we want, what we feel like is going to be the best television product. Because that's our number one priority. You know, we're not looking to sell 500 tickets right now. We need to sell 100 tickets. Yeah. That's it. 100 tickets. That's a studio audience. Memphis Wrestling always had about 100 people in the audience. We don't need 200, 300, 400, 500. Gosh, we can go do a spot show and do that. So that's the idea, is film television there. Maybe have a couple of Saturday night specials. If we can do some fundraising in there, that would be great. Birthday parties and training is going to be really good, especially training. We've got 2 students that have signed up sight unseen just because of the excitement of what this product is, I guess, the buzz around the product. So I do think that once aspiring professional wrestlers and sports entertainers see where they're going to be training, they'll be like, wait a second, I can train there. That's the idea.
Right.
Then do other shows outside at AutoZone Park, or there's a really cool spot inside FedEx Forum, not in the big bowl, but like there's a really unique area that I would like to do, or just different. And we've already got some of this in the works. We're just waiting for the regulations to allow us to do it at a full capacity. Yeah. And then you'll see some around town type of stuff from Memphis Wrestling.
Definitely. And I'm hoping, as the months we're going through, and then little by little that, the world is opening up again, people are getting vaccinated and such and such. So, I mean, hopefully that you have that full capacity, and who knows, you'll see us up there in Memphis.
Come on, man.
Yeah, that's the plan. I've only been in Nashville once, and it was for work, so I did not get to enjoy anything out there like I wanted to.
Yeah, we were supposed to go for the April 11th tapings, but due to circumstances, we're not able to.
There's some silver lining, though. There's a little bit of silver lining, because that way, when you do come, the first impression that you'll get is the brand new Memphis Wrestling Wrestle Center. Yes, and I think that's going to be first impressions leave you know, that's how you typically remember that first impression. So we got to hit that first impression on
Yeah.
you.
And on that exact note, it looks like, according to the TV tapings, that the debut of that venue will be May 2nd. That's correct?
May 2nd will be
Mhm.
you know, but I believe you said May 22nd is when it on the channel, correct?
Yes. So you'll
Okay,
see.
sorry. I was looking at the schedule of this show, like 2 p.m. Wrestle Center for May 2nd, so I wasn't sure if that was a televised event. But will that be?
Televised.
So May 2nd is the debut of the center.
But on to
the
be
live debut. So
Live
on television, it hits the airwaves on
Right,
May
okay.
22nd.
Yeah, I got it.
Now,
Will
also,
there be a segment of that does say like "Welcome to the Center" and a quick tour of it, and then the
Oh,
show
yeah.
starts? Dude, I want that.
yeah.
So bad.
Yeah, for sure. But then also, we have released the date of May 16th. So May 16th will be our television taping after May the 2nd. So we went ahead and put that on the website just so everybody knows. And then there will also be an email that goes out to those who subscribe to us. So if you're not a subscriber and you want to be the first to know what's happening, we send you about one email per week. So it's not intrusive at all. But at the very top where it says subscribe at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com, you just type in your email and that's it. We'll let you know what's going on, whether it's a free watch party or television taping or a discount on t-shirts, anything like that, what's going on in the area. And then also, by the way, you can watch the show right here. Just kind of keeps you updated on what's going on. But that way you're the first to know. It's like a little club. And when we do that, we find out that like when we send the email for May 16th, the tickets sell because people want to be the first one. They want ringside.
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
Gosh, I get
They
messages.
get early access tickets and then
Yes.
early access to the seats that they want.
People will ask me, why can't I get a ticket to your show? And I say, because the tickets are gone. You've got to buy them early. And that's the old salesman. That's the old car salesman. Hey, this deal is good for today. And then it's gone away. Well, fortunately, like it's a shoot. If you don't buy tickets within a week, they're probably going to be gone. And it's because we have 100 tickets.
Wow.
That's it. And you know, if that's capacity, I'm not going to be shut down to sell, more tickets. Of course I want to sell more tickets, but you have to follow the rules. So
Yeah.
I mean, we're 100% on that. But that's the deal is people DM me and say, I can't get a ticket to your show. How come? And it's because they were all bought up. So come see us on this date. And then we send out an email. So we will, if anybody's watching this, we will be sending out an email probably
I
within
literally just signed up for it right now. I don't know if you're if you're at your hub right now, you'll see me in there. So
There you go.
That's a shoot. Brother.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
You talk about the limited capacity, which is more than fair given the condition that we're all in right now. I don't know if you had mentioned the full capacity without regulations within that venue. Did you say 500 or was that just a
No. It's going to be about 100. So the way that our setup is, and we built the locker room and all that kind of stuff with fire code and all that kind of stuff. Now it's possible that it can be increased. There's a couple of things that I can do in the building, but the whole idea for this is to have a very intimate studio style setting,
right?
Fired up crowd that really wants to be there. And if you have a studio that seats, 300 and you only have 100 in there, it looks terrible. So for television, we want the people that want to be there. They're right there on top of the action. They go crazy. And then when we do our shows around town, that's when we'll have more and more people. But like I say, we want to build a little community. That's literally what it is a community of wrestling fans that are there all the time. And their ticket prices are as low. I mean, $5 for kids, $10 for general admission, and only $15 for ringside. We try to make it so affordable that if we do two that month, you and your family can go. And then Tops Barbecue is so affordable, you can literally feed the whole family. I mean, I think they sell hot dogs for like $2 or $1.50 or something. You go to FedEx Forum or you go to AutoZone Park or any sporting venue, gosh, you're spending
$17 for a beer.
Absolutely. Now we're not selling beer. We can't do that, but we can sell the hell
For
out
a
of
soda, $12 a soda.
Yeah. But we don't want to be on that level. We want to. It's very local Memphis wrestling, and if this thing even grows to be something bigger than what that is, we still will stay in our lane and be more simplified storytelling, drama at the desk. It ends up in the ring. Maybe do a Saturday night special here and there, and gosh, have people watching it. That's the goal.
What are they waiting for? I mean, obviously I know what they're waiting for. what is the catalyst for what they're waiting for to determine you can open up full seating? Like, are they like, okay, we'll give 75?
That will be our full seating, I believe. 100 will be our full
Right,
seating.
but you said you're right now at 75 only, and you're limited at that.
Well, that was in top of the line. So at the new place, it'll be 100.
Okay, so the COVID regulations now, besides social distancing, you can be full capacity at this venue without any.
According to my inspections and such, my dog is over here having a wrestling match. According to the inspections and stuff, yes.
Awesome, great.
Now we'll be masking up and doing all that stuff, temperature checks, masking up, and a lot of the crew is gotten their vaccinations, which is really, really good. Anybody that's around a lot of people, and I know people feel differently about it, but we're very pro vaccination. I work around too many people and too many sports and stuff. I'm COVID tested on the regular, sometimes 2-3 times a week with doing the sports. So it was very important, especially having a 5-month-old baby, to go ahead and get the vaccination. But we're following all the protocol that we possibly can. But the whole capacity thing, as far as the facility, that's the number that we want in the building.
That's great.
100.
And that's that many people. Everyone kind of almost gets to be not just fans in the audience, but almost just extras to a show where they go home and watch this. You're probably going to see yourself on TV just sitting in the audience, not buried in a sea of. I mean, obviously, I want you at some point to have thousands of people watching, but with 100 people, the benefit would be, hey, there's me and Mom watching pro wrestling right there on YouTube.
And the seating is going to be set up as such too. So it'll be set up to where the people, even in the background, they can be waving and, where they have signs or something like that.
Man, I miss signs. That's what I miss about the live audience.
I know. I love the signs. But now it's everybody wants to have their phone recording and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is this little community of wrestling fans here in Memphis that are coming to our shows. Fortunately, they're not really releasing spoilers. You don't see a lot of the spoilers hit, or at least I haven't been seeing them. And typically, I've got some friends and people that will send it to me and say, "Oh, here's a spoiler." Just not that I can do anything about it, but just so I have a heads up. But sometimes we'll even tell them there at the TV tapings, "Hey, feel free to post and tag whatever you want, but keep in mind, you guys are seeing this weeks before it's going to air on television. So you're on the end crew. Like, you're on the inside of what's going on, and then you can go home and watch it on TV." And some people go, "I'm not posting anything. I want them to watch." They'll literally respond with that. And I'm like, yes, that's cool, because it really keeps that, I've got to watch it instead of I'm going to get the spoilers on the internet.
I definitely, I love that local.
Like all the Tony Schiavones, the don't bother turning it on Monday, where some guy who used to work here won our belt. I love that. One of the worst flubs. I mean, I think that particular moment was what the final nail in that WCW coffin, but that's a different.
I'm pretty sure that line was probably fed to him, though.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think
of course.
I think that was not just him, for sure.
Yeah, being shady.
Man, Dustin, I would like to go ahead and thank you so much for taking the time and the opportunity to be with us today. Again, follow up, and hopefully we can have another follow up, because after this, I want to know your thoughts of who's going to be the new Heritage World Champion.
I want to know. I want the results point of view after that match, because I can't wait to watch that. That is, I'm not blowing smoke up anyone's ass. I've never seen a match that it may have been done before, and I might have missed it, where a Rumble ends with the final two in a traditional match. That is insane, and no one's done that before, if they haven't. And I apologize if I never knew that happened. So
just the United Wrestling Network, that's their brainchild.
Yeah.
And I was on the phone with Dave Marquez and John and saying, okay, this is going to be a total cluster of how many people are going to show up for this thing. So what's the best way to do this and this and this and this?
I would love if they didn't know. The final two were like, and then the ref is like, "Oh, by the way, this is actually," and they're like, "Oh shit, we gotta."
You'll see people drawing their numbers. You'll see people drawing their numbers and kind of revealing that they've officially entered the Grind City Rumble. So there's going to be a lot of storytelling leading up to this thing. But what I like the most is on the 15th, when it airs, the very next week is a brand new ball game. It's a brand new era. Everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So it'll be a whole new look, and that new Memphis Heritage Champion will be there with the founder of Memphis Wrestling, Jerry Jarrett, and he's excited to come. I've been texting.
Putting the belt around. Is he the one that's doing the anointing?
There's going to be some sort of presentation there of the Memphis Heritage Championship with Jerry Jarrett. So talk about, putting the stamp of approval. if there was anybody to put the stamp of approval on what we're doing as far as Championship Wrestling from Memphis, who better than the person that now Jerry Lawler is very influential here in Memphis, obviously, but Jerry Jarrett is the original founder before King went into business with Jerry.
Yeah.
So that was a brainchild of Jerry Jarrett and the Jarrett family.
Yeah.
And so for him to be here, and we keep in touch with Jeff too, so you'll probably see Jeff at some point. But you got to take little nibbles. But to have the founder coming in, gosh, there's not a better person that could put the stamp of approval on the champion. So we'll have all that drama play out too. And it's never that simple.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. But
that is right, definitely. Jerry Jarrett is one of the pioneers, true pioneers, especially in Memphis, bringing professional wrestling into the city of Memphis. And I'm looking forward to seeing that. And I think our viewers and subscribers are looking forward to that. Now, before we go, let you go, Mr. Starr, we want to go ahead and let the people know where can they see Championship Wrestling from Memphis every Saturday at noon. Let them know.
Every Saturday at noon, no matter where you are in the world, you can join us live on the live chat. Brett Michaels, Papo Esco, Johnny Dotson, the Skimahorns, the Posse, Big Dan. You see a bunch of our wrestlers and performers in the live chat, and they're interacting with the fans. It's a lot of fun. I love that we don't necessarily have those wrestling trolls in there. If they do, we kick them over the top rope, just like a Royal Rumble. But it's just so cool. Everybody's so positive. So that's youtube.com/Championship Wrestling. You can follow us on social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's at CW30 Wrestling. But then we also do a really good job, in my opinion, of keeping the website updated. So that way, the only place that you can see the May 16th date right now is at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com. And then like you, if you subscribe, Chris, subscribe, so you'll be getting the email and knowing when tickets go on sale first or when stuff is going to happen. But that's championshipwrestlingmemphis.com. And that's it, man. Follow us there. Simple as that.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you also tune in every Saturday. The CW30 YouTube channel, all the description will be below. All the links for the YouTube channel, the website, and also the social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. So make sure you follow and subscribe.
Smash that like button too. You'll get notifications in your feed, so you know when new content gets posted immediately.
Exactly.
I just rung the bell. It says subscribe. There's a bell. Click that bell. You'll be first on the list to all new content.
Exactly. And also keep on tuning in every Saturday at noon Central Time. And also Championship Wrestling from Hollywood at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time as well.
2-hour block of pro wrestling. 2-hour block of pro wrestling, absolutely free. Of course, Hollywood is across 125 different stations, but it airs first on our YouTube program at 11 Central. So from 11 to about 11:50, you've got Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. And then from noon until about 12:50 or so, we have Championship Wrestling from Memphis. And then immediately following that, I do a live reaction to where we talk about what we've seen, and I kind of get a good idea of what the people think, and usually it's good. Also, at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com/podcast, you can listen to, or on our YouTube page, you can listen to the Rollin' into Mempo podcast with BT and Rhino JB. Now, these guys don't work for our company, and that's what's important here, is they can tell it like it is. If there's something they don't like, they say it. If there's something they like, they say it. Rhino JB is a diehard wrestling fan, so he hated when they smashed the cup. So he gave us a bad review because they smashed the cup. But then BT, he's been in the business 20 years, and he's like, oh, I loved it when they smashed the cup because now we've got heat. Now we've got a story. So it's like two different versions. It's like PWI and The Observer or whatever. You know? Two different opinions. So you can listen to that podcast. And of course, you guys do a good job at talking about it too. So we love to hear what people think about it. And we always reply to those comments in the YouTube page as well. We always try to stay interactive with everybody.
Absolutely, yeah. And of course, we report it as much as possible, especially, and try to get Chris caught up as well, since now he's subscribed. You subscribe, right?
I want to first of all, I want to afford a plane ticket. Then I want to go.
Come on, let's do it. We'll eat some Tops barbecue when you get here, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's a must. That's definitely a must. I love some Memphis barbecue. Why not? I already had Kansas City, but I need some Memphis.
They will have almost a mini restaurant inside the Wrestle Center. Tops visited last week, and they're going to set up this week. And man, they just blew me away with how they want to come in and literally, I mean, everything from booths Like it's going to be like a mini restaurant there for Tops Barbecue. I'm so excited about it. I'm a big fan of theirs. They've been in business since 1952, 16 locations, almost 17 if you count the Wrestle Center. So
16 and a half.
Lots of cool stuff are going to go inside that Wrestle Center along with the Memphis Wrestling. So you guys got to come check it out.
Oh, that's a must, definitely. So don't forget, purchase it. So every Pro Wrestling Memphis fans up in Memphis, make sure you purchase your tickets because they're going to go out like hotcakes. And also, if you can't go live, at least, tune in on May 15th where you see the first ever Crown World Heritage Champion. And also on May 22nd is with the re-premiere of Championship Wrestling for Memphis at the Memphis Wrestling Center. So make sure that's right. Oh man, that title's so beautiful. I love it.
Saw me playing with the title belt. That's all about right there, guys.
And that's right. That's what it's all about.
I don't think that's the last time you're going to be holding that thing. I promise.
Oh boy. Yeah. Hey, why not? I booked myself on top. Why not?
Once again, thank you very much for everyone for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time.
Thanks, guys.